Hey, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Evan.
All topics presented in this podcast are highly likely to contain spoilers.
We tell you this as a courtesy to you, the listener, so that we may not ruin any movies or shows for you.
Thank you for listening.
This has been your spoiler warning.
Well, welcome to Star Wars In Depth. This time we talk about Attack of the Clones. So, very first note that I have about Attack of the Clones was about now Senator. What's Padme's position now?
She is a senator.
It is Senator. Okay. Yeah. Well, Senator Amidala has another weird hairdo. And this one looks like an AAT. That's my first note. That's just the very first note that I laughed when I saw it. But
one thing I would like to note
yes,
is that when the giant ship that Senator Amidala is quote unquote on comes down to Coruscant,
right, yeah.
and that one guy was like, "Senator, we're making our final approach," and the Senator's like, "Very good." The voice is Padme, but
Yeah.
then after the ship goes boom.
Oh, it was majorly different.
Laying on the ground, completely different voice.
Oh, completely different. I did notice that too. I didn't note it, but I remember thinking that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah. Ship explodes. Decoy's dead. Her name was Corday? Corday? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is dead, and the whole like assassination plot on her was to sway the vote, correct?
Yeah, more or less. It was to sway the vote because they were having a vote on creating a Green Army of the Republic. And that was actually to help the Jedi keep the peace because the Jedi were actually struggling with all the different planets leaving the Republic and joining the Separatists. The Jedi were actually having trouble keeping the peace. So that's what that initial Grand Army of the Republic vote was for. That the assassination attempt was attempting to stop.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was one of my questions I wrote down was just what exactly that vote was about. So okay, cool. Mace Windu notes that Jedi are keepers of peace, but not soldiers. I like I had said, I had just finished that comic book, Obi-Wan and Anakin. The one that took place in between 1 and 2, and they kind of gave a little bit more on like what the Jedi kind of were. I mean, we know, but just hearing it explained again kind of was interesting, I thought. So I'm finding where I want to read from just to sum that up. Yeah, here we go. So the whole premise is that Obi-Wan and Anakin crash land on some planet, and they figure out that the planet's been wiped clean. It's been war-torn, and Anakin's wondering what happened, and Obi-Wan's telling him that, this planet's been destroyed, and Anakin questions why didn't the Jedi do anything to stop this? And Obi-Wan replies with a little bit, and then he says, the Jedi Order is under the jurisdiction of the Senate. The same is true when this planet was destroyed. And even if we weren't, there are only 10,000 of us to keep the light and peace alive in the entire galaxy. The Jedi can guide, we can teach, but we can help people to help themselves, but we are not an army. If a people are truly determined to write themselves out of existence, there is little we can do. But it just kind of elaborates a bit more that, they're not an army. It's, they're keepers of peace,
Yeah, it's like violence is like their absolute last
right
means.
Right, yeah.
Like their Jedi are supposed to do everything possible to resolve a conflict before violence happens.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, just, I guess, moving along, I realized that I wrote a lot of notes throughout this, and I'm going to try to, keep it moving along, because you don't have notes, correct?
What's that?
I said you don't have notes, correct? this
No,
time?
I'm just going off the top of my head here.
All right, and that's perfectly fine. But
You had mentioned Mace Windu when they're talking to Chancellor.
yeah.
And I actually noticed something when I was watching the movie. When Chancellor Palpatine is like, he's talking to Senator Amidala when she shows up, and he's like, "Oh, or she says something along the lines of like, I don't need more protection. I need to know what's behind this."
Right. Yeah.
And Palpatine's like, "Oh, well, I think you do need more protection. The thought of losing you is unbearable.
Yeah.
Perhaps she could be put under the protection of your graces," talking about, the Jedi Order.
Right.
And then he recommends Obi-Wan. And I noticed that Yoda is looking at Chancellor Palpatine like, something's fishy here. I don't know what your game is, but something's going down. And I'm not sure if I like it.
Like he's pretty suspicious. He's just kind of like,
he
that
just
sounds a little
suspicious.
weird. Like, I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we find out, just moving along, continuing, I didn't notice that specific detail, but that's kind of interesting. Just, maybe Yoda was kind of suspicious a little bit more on, I mean, obviously at least the situation, but you kind of wonder how much the Jedi kind of suspected, who exactly was in charge, his real identity. But anyway, Count Dooku was once a Jedi. We found that out. That's pretty simple. I noticed. Yeah.
Sorry, with Count Dooku, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that, so in the Jedi Temple, this jumps ahead a little bit,
Sure.
but in the Jedi Temple, they actually have, like, busts in the Jedi Temple, and there's only, I think, like 12 of them. And those busts are actually for Jedi Masters that have left the Jedi Order. And Count Dooku they actually have a bust of Count Dooku there in the Jedi Temple.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's interesting. You don't even have notes. You're just you are interesting.
Reminder of, like, well, any Jedi can fall from the light side type of thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of like a don't get arrogant, don't get cocky, because there's not anyone. Here's proof of 12 masters who have fallen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really interesting detail. I did not know that, and I certainly did not pick up on any of them. But anyway, standing next to Padme is Bail Organa. It was kind of like the very first occurrence of him. I thought it was interesting just to notice him. But freaking Anakin getting all nervous to see Padme. He's already getting his weird, creepy vibes going.
Oh, absolutely. Like, right off the bat.
Right off the bat. And I was thrown off guard a little bit because I forgot that Jar Jar was in this episode too, so those hopes of never seeing him again were quickly diminished, and I just wrote, I want to die. So that's interesting.
So I was watching, I saw Jar Jar, I was like, oh, Jacob's gonna have fun with this one.
I will say that I was happy that he did not make as much of an appearance in this episode. But I do have some notes about him later on that we'll get into. Anyway, though,
I thought it was kind of funny when Anakin and Obi-Wan are riding up the elevator to the senator's apartment or her suite or whatever it was. And Obi-Wan's he's like, you're tense, you gotta relax. He's like, I haven't felt you this tense since we fell into that nest of Gundarks.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Gundarks are really large, disgusting monsters.
Disgusting!
They're disgusting.
I see. Well, actually,
and Anakin reports back you fell into that Nightmare Master, and I rescued you.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Because right there, Obi-Wan's doing his job, as Anakin's master, he's trying to take his mind off of what's troubling him. He's trying to get him to relax,
Right.
So, and it's a funny scene, but it's also if you pay attention, it's well, yeah, that is kind of his job, isn't it?
Yeah. Obi-Wan does that a lot to Anakin.
He does.
He constantly tries to keep him in check. Like, I'm just gonna read through my notes super quick because like a couple lines down is where there's another instance of that. Yeah.
Sorry. At one point, I think it's in a future movie, but I won't say which one. I won't say the exact scene. But I believe it's Yoda says something along the lines of more and more are becoming arrogant and
more what?
Confident in their abilities. And you know, with Anakin, that's
Oh.
I guess true because for what he believes and what every other Jedi believes, he is the chosen one. He's got all this pressure on him, and so like he thinks he's special. And, you know, he is strong with the Force, and he's very capable, but he overestimates his own ability.
Yeah, he's kind of got a big head. He's gotten to it's gone to his head a bit. Yeah. Well, anyway, so they meet up. You know, Padme's all excited to see them. She's, you know, there's a warm reunion, and Anakin's.
Let's be honest.
Strange, but what?
Let's be honest here, Jacob. She was excited to see Obi-Wan.
Yes, this is true.
I think Padme and Obi-Wan would be a way better couple than Padme.
Yeah, I agree, and she'd probably still be alive. Spoiler. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, you're not wrong.
Anyway, but he Anakin calls Padme. He says, "You look very beautiful," or something like that. And then he quickly is like, for a senator, I mean. And I'm just like, saved it. Like,
yeah.
It just reminded me of the scene.
Yeah, Padme's like, oh boy, Annie, you've grown. And she's like, so have you. Grown more beautiful, I mean. For a senator, I mean. Master take over.
Yeah, exactly. It just reminded me of that scene from, have you seen Hot Rod?
No.
Oh, man.
If I did, it's been a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, darn it. Okay, there was a scene from that where he's just like, he's talking to the neighbor girl who he's always had a crush on, and he's just, you know, they have a nice interaction. They have a nice moment, and then she like goes to walk away, and he's like, yeah, good night, Denise. You look pretty. And she's just like, what? And he's like, I said you look good night, Denise. And he takes off running. It's just a stupid, like, it's not a save at all. It's worse, but it's just funny.
Bro, really?
Exactly. But anyway. Yeah, so going on, about Obi-Wan constantly redirecting Anakin's thoughts, there was a quote by him, Anakin gets all kind of worked up, and he said it a couple of times, but Obi-Wan goes, you're focusing on the negative, Anakin. Be mindful of your thoughts.
Yeah.
He constantly is kind of keeping him in check and trying to redirect him into not...
I did notice,
yeah,
though, that Obi-Wan doesn't help his own case in certain occasions.
No, not in certain ones,
because,
no.
like, he constantly refers to Anakin as my young apprentice, or my very young apprentice.
Uh-huh.
Which, like, trying to knock him down a peg, but, like, you can see the look on Anakin's face, like, he'll be excited or something, and he'll just go like, oh, you just did.
Yeah.
You call me that. And I noticed that Qui-Gon, back in The Phantom Menace, called Obi-Wan his young apprentice, or his very young apprentice several times.
Yeah.
Well.
And maybe it is
So
to...
it's not like that master taught the Padawan, and now the Padawan that became the master is teaching his Padawan.
Right.
And some of those things just kind of carried over.
But, you know, not only that, you know, you said that a lot of, I mean, there's at least 8 occurrences of Jedi becoming too prideful and becoming too arrogant. And maybe it is kind of like a way they're trying to be like, know your place, like, don't get too, you know, kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Could be that. But yeah, Anakin dreams about his mom, you know, she's obviously in Doom. He's very moody. But there's, you know...
You jumped way ahead, man.
Did I?
Yeah.
I mean, you're focusing on the negative. Padme is being used as bait. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. No, she's, yeah... They discuss and they're like, we need to protect her, and then Anakin's pushing, trying to pursue the bounty hunter, not the bounty hunter, the assassin, and then eventually, you know, they work out a thing where she's in there, she's asleep, Anakin and Obi-Wan are talking, and Obi-Wan kind of draws the connection. He's like, you're using her as bait, aren't you?" kind of thing, and because to get what he wants, it's like they're supposed to be protecting her, but Anakin's low-key like trying to. He's like, "No, we're getting this assassin," like, and he'll come here, try to get her, and we'll get them. But, yeah, and then wait a minute.
I will say those little centipede thingamajiggers.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Oh, those are no, thank you at all.
Smash them with my boot, pulling out a 9mm, shooting with that, pulling out an M4, shooting them with that.
I'd be stomping on them with my boot and then through my foot shooting them with a 45. No, but anyway.
It's just like no, those things are disgusting. Like, gross.
So I recognize my notes now. I did not jump ahead super far, like when I said Anakin dreams about his mother. I was referring to when he refers to dreaming about his mother. It wasn't him laying in bed and dreaming.
When he's talking to Obi-Wan about it.
Right. I recognize my wording though was indicating, because when I read this, I was definitely thinking of that scene, but that's not what I meant. I realize that now.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan makes a comment of Anakin looking tired.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Anakin's like, "Well, I don't sleep much anymore."
Right. Yeah.
Dreams about your mother.
Yeah.
I remember getting those, Obi-Wan mentoring Anakin, like, everybody comes and passes. It's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something you have to put up, you have to deal with, because there's no way you can stop it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally thought you were going.
No, I wasn't, dude. That's like.
Back up a minute. We just skipped like half an hour of movie.
Oh, dude, I think we probably would have skipped like an hour of movie, because that takes place after I think it's on Naboo. I think it's back on Naboo when that occurs.
When that takes place.
Yeah. No, I did not skip an hour of movie. But yeah, those little worm things come in. I thought it was funny how Obi-Wan's just yeets himself out the window and grabs onto the thing and just rides it. Where was it? It was somewhere around in after that where I noticed some more creatures that were like Sebulba. I noticed a couple more of them. And then... Oh yeah. So they're riding in the vehicle after Obi-Wan gets the droid he's riding gets shot down. He falls, and Anakin pulls up and grabs him, and then makes some jokes about, I couldn't find the speeder that I liked and stuff. Obi-Wan
with the no top, with the this, that, and the other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obi-Wan, I love his wit, like his wittiness. And what he says and stuff, because he just goes, he's like, if you spend as much time practicing your lightsaber as you do your wit, you would rival even Master Yoda. And then Anakin's like, I already do. And Obi-Wan just replies, only in your mind.
And Obi-Wan, there again, Obi-Wan does the only in your mind, my very young apprentice.
Yeah, my young Padawan.
And if you look at Anakin's face, he goes from kind of like a small grin to like a small frown.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of like gets knocked down a couple pegs. Yeah. That whole electric field, though, on that chase that they're going through, what I'm talking about, that purple thing? I remember that scene in particular from Lego Star Wars. Again, it's just bringing back that memory of that level.
I would like to see something in between episodes 1 and 2. Because Obi-Wan makes a comment, it's like, how many times have I told you to stay away from power couplings? Like, how many times have you guys been near power couplings?
Yeah. I will say, there was something...
How many times have you guys been electrocuted by these things? Like, what?
Yeah. There was something referred to in the comic book of his training that kind of was, I thought, went in line with something said in this movie, but I did not see anything about those in this. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear more of their stories that they kind of refer to,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And then, okay, so a little bit later, they lose her. They lose the assassin, or him. They don't know it's a girl yet. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then Anakin just jumps out of the vehicle and falls. Now, my question is, how are Jedi able to fall that far without just splatting when they grab onto things? Because, like, when Obi-Wan fell, Anakin kind of matched his speed, and stuff, kind of like eased him into catching him and made it graceful. Whereas when Anakin was falling, he just reached out his arm and grabbed onto that thing's ship. I mean, he gained a lot of force falling. Like, I'm pretty sure it would have just, like, broke his arm. But, like, how was he able to catch... Like, I don't know.
Because he is the chosen one, and he has 4.
I guess. I don't know, man. I just was like, what? How did he not break his arm? Like, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and then as he's flying along, he loses his lightsaber. Obi-Wan's, like, flying behind him, just so nonchalantly just reaches up his hand and catches it. And just keeps going.
What I don't understand is, why would Obi-Wan just set it on the seat? Like...
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Dog, you're flying through the freaking air. How fast can you just set your Padawan's lightsaber on the seat?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. About 20 minutes into the movie, though, I noticed on a billboard that they passed, there was another creature that was like that of the main person in the Cantina band. The and so on. There was one of them, but I mean, those were kind of seen fairly frequently. I mean, it's different species. It's not like there's just one of them, but it's just kind of I just noticed it. Let's see here. I made a note, foreshadowing, because Obi-Wan goes, "Why do I get the feeling that you will be the death of me?" Even though Anakin Darth didn't kill Obi-Wan, because he just kind of did that, like, ascension thing. But either way, I was just like, foreshadowing. Anyway, something that I noticed, they referred to the assassin as a changeling. And I was unsure of what that was, and that's one of the things I looked up before recording. And do you know what it is?
What it is?
Yeah, what is a changeling?
From my understanding, it's just like a race that can kind of change their appearance to blend in, I guess. I really don't know that much about them.
No, that's what I found. It was just a few species that could assume different forms, and that was from Wikipedia, which I still love the name of. But yeah, and then, okay, so he said that, and then they went into that bar, or that club, right? They're on the street level now, they're going in. I like how Obi-Wan just, like, did the mind sway thing on a drug dealer. The guy's like, "Hey, man, you want to buy some, I don't remember what they were called.
Some death sticks?
Yeah, something like that. And Obi-Wan's just like, "I want to go home and rethink my life," or something. The guy's like, "Wow, I want to go home and..." Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to go home and rethink your life? I want to go home and rethink my life.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But around this time, so I started watching it with subtitles on, because you said that you did, and I started thinking, I'm like, actually, that might be very beneficial, because you kind of get a little more, like, of what's going on. And so I started doing that. And around this time, there was the subtitle. It said, I heard some things in the background. It's like, oh, whatever, some language, something being said, and it says patron speaking in Huttese, the language of the Hutts. And so I was like, oh, okay, so there's another Hutt there, which kind of, it made me think a little bit different later on. And I gotta I have a note about that, but later on when they go to Tatooine and they're talking to Watto again, he speaks Huttese. So it's just like, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're that slug Hutt.
Huttese is just like just another language that anyone can learn. It's a commonly used language throughout all of Star Wars.
Right, yeah. And I didn't know that, but I saw Huttese, and I'm like, oh, is there another occurrence of one? There wasn't, though, probably, because of, like you said, it's a common used language or whatever. But yeah, we move ahead a little bit to where they cut off the assassin, the changeling's arm. And you know, she's talking about what, I don't know, whatever like was occurring, you know, what her mission was. Kind of like very reluctantly they're trying to interrogate her and all that.
Yeah.
She says, you know, it was a bounty hunter named, and then, you know, gets stuck with a dart and she dies. Her last words were, "We Shamit Slimo." And I saw that, I'm like, oh, Slimo. So she said something about slime ball. Because that was, you know, remember Sebulba and Anakin called each other. So I looked that up, and she was just like, bounty hunter slime ball. Like, she knew who killed her. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Interesting.
The Chancellor, man, knowing what. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just thought it was funny that, like, so after Obi-Wan cuts her hand off, Anakin just turns around and is like, Jedi business, go back to your drinks. And everybody's like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that, their reaction, but I do remember him being like, Jedi business, you know. So. Yeah,
because, like, you would think if everybody just saw some guy cut this random lady's hand off, like, everybody would be like, what the heck is going on? What?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, some other random guy just like, Jedi business, go back to your drinks. Everybody's like, whoop, good enough for us. Okay, I'm not interested no more.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like I would still be interested.
Yeah, I'd still be watching. But anyway, yeah. So they go back to the Senate, like, and they're talking to Chancellor. The Chancellor is constantly trying to guide Anakin, you know, and he's got this extreme interest in him. And even in this comic book, like, it ranges all the way back. Like, he knows what's up, and he knows who Anakin is, and he's trying to corrupt him from the very beginning. Like, he gets in the comic, Obi-Wan and Anakin, the Chancellor, like, asks to borrow Anakin for a little bit. And so he, like, takes him around and goes to the streets of Coruscant and kind of do some stuff. They walk around and he shows him the city. And in that, he's like, do you know what Coruscant's rarest resource is? And they're like, well, you know, Anakin's like, what is it, Chancellor? And he's like, sunlight. Because all the way down there, they're at the very bottom, you know, everything's just kind of scraped by, and all that. But he like takes this weird interest in him. He's always trying to sway him, and we see, you know, that it works. But it was just kind of constantly seeing that, and I didn't realize how much he was doing it until I am rewatching it again.
Yeah. Well, because when the Chancellor and Darth Plagueis were still, you know, Master and Apprentice, they'd always planned to, you know, get the Chosen One on their side. So
right.
When Chancellor Palpatine finds out that Anakin is the Chosen One, it's just like,
I need to go after him. Like, yeah,
there's still a chance that I can do this. I can still go through with the plan. Type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. It just stuck out. It's not necessarily anything interesting, but I noticed it and I was like, okay. But yeah, Anakin's becoming a little bit more arrogant. We keep moving along. Not a whole lot happens throughout the next couple parts.
A bit more creepy.
Oh, he's getting a ton more. I have a yeah, I've got this section coming up about him doing that. We meet Representative Binks. Jar Jar is now our representative. Honest question, how much time do you think and how much money do you think it takes for them to constantly change Padme's hair? Like, I'm being honest, not just in the movie set, like, just theory about in the freaking movie. Like, every scene you see her, she's got a different freaking hairdo.
Well, I mean,
like, straight up.
Most women I know, cough, cough, what?
Well, I can't say the same, but I mean, I don't know. I guess that's royalty for you. I don't know. Anyway, Anakin just begins whining, and it just annoyed the ever-living heck out of me because, like, they haven't been around each other for a very long time, and then he just starts whining. So my note is Anakin whining to Padme about, I am greater, I blah, 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 and then I just write in all caps, shut up, oh my goodness. He annoyed me. But
I thought it was weird how Anakin would go back and forth between, like, Obi-Wan's a great master. He's as wise as Master Yoda, as powerful as Master Windu.
yeah,
And then he completely goes 180 and, like, but in many ways, a lot of ways, I'm ahead of him. I'm ready to take the trials, but he says
yeah.
you're just talking about how your master's so great, and then you're just like, oh, but I'm better than him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Like,
just...
what? Make up your mind, man. Come on.
Yeah. But anyway, they're talking, and he gives her the freaking creepiest look I could ever imagine. He's just like, Like, if there was a sound to go along with it, it'd be that. And, like...
And she even says, she's like,
she
"Don't
goes,
look at me like
yeah,
that."
she goes, please don't look at me like that. It makes me uncomfortable. And I wrote next to that, doesn't the Jedi, like, have training videos on sexual harassment? Because, like, he's making unwanted advances, and he's staring at her very creepily. It's just like, geez, get some HR reps in there immediately. Like, what the heck? I mean, she makes clear that she is not... Like, and obviously we find out later on that she's just kind of denying her feelings, but at this point, he doesn't know that, and he just won't stop. Anyway, then they start, like, moving along, and they say something, and I cringed, I'll be honest. Never have I really cringed. Never mind, there's Jar Jar, but regardless. They had R2 and they're walking along and they're saying some stuff, and they're like, what was it? They were like, something about, are you worried about it just being the two of us? Or something like that. Like, I don't know, something about, like, them being able to defend themselves. I don't know. But anyway, Anakin says, he's like, don't worry, we have R2 with us. And they look back, and it's just just extraordinarily forced laughter. They're like, oh, ha 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 ha, that was a funny joke, like, kind of thing. And it's like, it was not funny.
Right before that scene, though, it has Obi-Wan and Captain Typho, which is the head of Padme's security team.
Right, yeah.
And Obi-Wan makes a comment, he's like, I hope he doesn't do anything reckless.
Yeah.
And the captain's like, I'd be more worried about her doing something than him.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You both feel this way.
Yet you're letting them.
Those consent with each other.
Yeah, exactly. We both don't have a good feeling about this, but should we go through with it? Sure.
Like,
What
really?
the heck?
Like,
It just doesn't.
You had to send R2. You couldn't send, like, a third person to make sure neither of them don't do something stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, here's my question to you. For a little bit, okay, so they find the... Oh, no. Obi-Wan gets that dart, and he's trying to trace it. And he goes to his friend that runs a diner, similar to the diner in our hometown, Evan. The cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if the guy that he was talking to was a human, it would be exactly like the diner in town. Like, the guy just looked like him. He had the mustache and everything. But either way, that guy, I just pointed out, I'm like, oh, I remember you showing me a couple episodes of the Clone Wars, and one of the Jedi from that was the same species.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just noticed that. He has got 4 arms and all that.
Well, the guy you're talking about in Attack of the Clones, his name is Dex.
Yeah, and I have that written. Down. I just forgot to mention it just now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a Kamino saber dart. Finds that out. And then he starts looking for Kamino, and it's obviously hidden. Because somebody, which, by the way, was it I don't think it was probably elaborated on, but that was the senator probably that removed that, or maybe it was Dooku or something, but somebody from inside had to remove it.
What senator would you be talking about?
Not senators, chancellor, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, only Jedi are allowed into those rooms.
Oh.
So, like, there's Jedi there 24/7. So, like, Chancellor Palpatine wouldn't have been in there.
I wonder who did it then.
So it would have had to have been Count Dooku while he was still a Jedi.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Or, no, that doesn't make sense, actually. But yeah, I got kind of angry at the arrogant library lady. If it does not appear in our records, it does not exist. And then I wrote next to it, Poodoo. It just, yeah, she annoyed me. She was very stuck up. But
I liked when Obi-Wan went to that chamber where Yoda's training the younglings.
Yeah, that's my next note.
And Obi-Wan's like, I'm having a problem finding a planet. You know, it's got all the stars right here are there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say.
This one location, but the planet and its star is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoda just makes a comment like, Master Kenobi has lost a planet. How embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In front of all the youngs, and they all started giggling. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I did notice before he gets to that scene, he goes into the temple where Yoda is. And as he's walking, you see two Jedi that are fairly prevalent. Not very prevalent. One of them is. You know the blue lady with the two trunks on her head that's on Felucia later on?
Yeah.
You see her walking down the stairs. I don't remember what her name was because I know it's not like... because there was the red ones. It's
Ayla Secura.
Yeah, that was it. But you saw her, and then there was another one that looked like a dinosaur. He was the one to get shot by Jango Fett later on in the Geonosis scene. But you see them two just walking around, and I just kind of picked up on that. I'm like, oh, there they are.
Oh,
but,
now that you mention it, this goes back a little bit. But when Senator Amidala walks into the Chancellor's office while he's talking to all the Jedi, if you look, in kind of in the background, you have Master Luminara. She's like the green-faced lady. Oh. And what I never noticed before is that you actually see her Padawan with her there, which is Barriss something. I can't think of what her name is now. But you see her in several episodes of the Clone Wars.
Oh. It's interesting just that you see that.
They had like her Padawan in Attack of the Clones and then brought the Padawan into the Clone Wars TV show, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that same thing they had like Master Plo Koon. I think Ki-Adi-Mundi as well.
Yeah, he was there, and then that green tentacle-y guy. I can't think of his name. Kit Fisto, yep. Yeah. He was there. But, yeah, so he finds out that the data was erased. Then the scene changes. It's back on Naboo. Sio Bibble's talking. I just have that. I don't remember. Oh, I forget. I think it was Padme and Anakin. They're both in the room, and I think they might be talking to Sio Bibble, or maybe it was just somebody. But Padme just delivers a cheap shot at him. They're just like, you and the Jedi Master here or something, and Padme just goes, oh, Anakin's not a Jedi Master, he's still a Padawan. Just like knocks him down.
Low blow, girl, low blow.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's actually a deleted scene for Attack of the Clones. It's a little bit not too far. But it actually shows Anakin meeting Padme's mother and father.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene for that, like that scene that they just decided to take out of the movie at the last minute.
That's interesting.
And I think Anakin's talking to her dad, kind of talking about like how he's there for security, and he'll make sure she doesn't get hurt. That whole shebang.
And then she walks away, and he's like, "Hey, can I marry her?"
Yeah. Hey, can I impregnate your daughter?
Yeah, really. He just says really creepy. He's creepy. And it just goes along, and it was annoying. But I make more notes on that later on. But anyway, we find out that one of the Guppies' names is Newt Gunray, which I knew, but looking back, I don't think it was ever revealed in episode 1.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Oh, that was actually before the Anakin is not a Jedi Master, but whatever. About 40 minutes in, Obi-Wan finds Kamino. But what I found weird about that was they were expecting the Jedi, and it was just kind of this weird overall atmosphere. Like, they're like, we've been expecting you and stuff. And we kind of found out why, because the person who ordered the production of them, was
and so they say
Sifo Dyas.
the Kaminoans say Master Sifo Dyas. Which is actually not true. Master Sifo Dyas did not.
No, he didn't, because he was killed 10 years before that. What?
For the clone army to be made.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he was killed like 10 years before.
He was killed. So the way Obi-Wan said it was, they told him that Master Sifo Dyas put in a commission for a clone army 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And all he really comments on is he says he was under the impression that Sifo Dyas died before that.
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't really give us a time frame of how long before that. But
yeah,
it just kind of right there just tells us that, Master Sifo Dyas did not do it. The Jedi never authorized this. The Senate never authorized this, and that's why it's just a huge mystery of like who gave the order then. And I looked up a little bit about Master Sifo Dyas. And I'm just, instead of asking you what you know about him, I'm going to tell you what I know about him from what I've researched, and then you can fill in any gaps, just because just to avoid hearing stuff that I've already heard. Anyway, what I got from Wikipedia, and again, with that, I like going to that because there is a distinction between canon and legend. And that's, I usually check a couple different sources as far as this, but I went with this summary, so I did get it from there. But it says that Sifo Dyas was a male Jedi Master. He was human, and he served in the Jedi Order during the last decades of the Galactic Republic. When the Sith were revealed to have returned during the invasion of Naboo in 32 BBY, Master Sifo Dyas secretly commissioned the creation of the Clone Army. But even then, that I don't agree with. I don't think that was entirely the case, unless Plagueis and Sidious, that was legend. I don't know. Go ahead. You said BBY. For those listening that don't know what BBY is for, or what it stands for, it's before the Battle of Yavin, which is when that takes place in Star Wars Episode 4 when they blow up the first Death Star.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what that refers to. That when you hear us say BBY, that's before the Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
And that's really how Star Wars kind of tracks its timeline. Everything's based around, so they have BBY and then ABY, which is after the Battle of Yavin.
That makes sense.
That's how they keep their whole timeline straight.
Yeah, but I probably...
Sorry, back to Master Sifo Dyas.
No, thank you for that. I appreciate the interruption, actually, because, that was something that should be clarified for anybody actually trying to learn more about Star Wars or just listening, that doesn't know what that means. It's good to clarify it. But anyway, Master Sifo Dyas, again, secretly commissioned the creation of the Clone Army, which, I don't know, but placing an order with the Kaminoan government before he was murdered by his friend Count Dooku. Okay, so you said a while ago that Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis kind of ordered the the production of the clones, and even Obi-Wan was kind of confused because he thought that Master Sifo Dyas was murdered before they said. So is the commissioning of the clones via Plagueis and Sidious legend or canon?
With Plagueis and Sidious, I believe is legend now.
Okay, but Sidious?
Because I'd have to do a little more research, because a lot of the stuff with Dark Plagueis has gone into the legends territory.
Gotcha.
But you actually get kind of a little bit of insight into Sifo Dyas during the Clone Wars TV show. And so I'll just kind of say this doesn't reveal anything really.
Okay.
But basically, the Jedi never knew what happened to Sifo-Dyas.
Oh.
They just assumed that he was dead, or they got reports saying that he was dead, but they never recovered his body, never recovered his lightsaber, never found a crashed ship or a death site.
Oh.
Up until this point in the Clone Wars TV show, they kind of
Gotcha.
get a little bit of closure of what happened to him.
Oh,
then.
okay. Gotcha.
So I mean, I guess technically, Sifo-Dyas could have commissioned the clone army.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it very unlikely because, around that time, I believe Count Dooku had left the Jedi Order by then.
Yeah.
And I think at that point he was kind of Palpatine's kind of side apprentice, or just became his new apprentice because after Darth Maul died, something like that. Because again, jumping ahead a little bit, when Obi-Wan is talking to Jango Fett, Obi-Wan asked him, he said, "Have you ever met a Jedi Master
Right.
Sifo-Dyas?"
Yeah.
And Jango says, "No, I was recruited by a man named Tyrannus on one of the moons of wherever," he said.
Right. And that actually a little bit later on, and really nothing. Yeah, that's one of my next notes. But
I think he said on one of the moons of Bogda or Bogda.
Bogda,
like
yeah, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, because he had no idea, and Tyrannus is Count Dooku.
Yeah, because Jango Fett, although you see him with like Count Dooku and like Newt Gunray, and then later on in the movie, he's not in on the whole, Palpatine is actually a Sith, Count Dooku's a Sith Lord. He's not in on that. He doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't know about that. He's just doing a job.
Right.
As bounty hunters.
Yeah, but returning back to Naboo, actually, I can picture this being the last topic of this episode because we're nearing an hour and I feel like it could go on for a while. But I could be wrong. Here's my thing. Jango Fett.
Yeah.
He has Mandalorian armor. He is not a Mandalorian. Correct.
Is that a question or a statement?
My question is, sorry, I was getting to that, but I was kind of like seeking a little bit of affirmation, just making sure I was okay and correct. He's not a Mandalorian, though, and later on we see that there's a lot of weird parts of this that I'm very curious about, because I guess how did he acquire the armor? And, like, jumping ahead a little bit, he has a jetpack.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not wrong, in The Mandalorian, it explains that the jetpack's kind of like a higher up rank kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a rite of passage type thing.
Right. So, how did this dude get it? Because he doesn't seem very skilled. I mean, he's all right, he's good, but pretty easily taken over. But in The Mandalorian, he's worked his way up. So there's like a difference between Jango Fett and
Jacob.
What?
Where did you get that Jango Fett's not a Mandalorian?
Well, it's showing his face and all.
Because from my understanding, Jango Fett was a Mandalorian. He just went away.
He just what?
Or he just went away from like the Mandalorian people.
Oh.
And during this time, the Mandalorian people took their helmets off all the time.
Oh.
And it wasn't until later on, towards like the Empire time, that they went over to the you don't remove your helmet in front of other people. You don't let anyone else remove your helmet.
Gotcha. Oh, all right then.
That was my understanding of it.
Yeah. Well, I was just kind of
That would explain why he has the armor, and maybe he got to a certain point while he was with the Mandalorians to get the jetpack.
Yeah. No, that would make a lot of sense. I was kind of confused by that. But if that's the case, then yeah, I'm wrong. But I don't know. Yeah, because I was just basing that off of what the new Mandalorian show goes off of. But yeah, obviously, if something changed, it would have been different at the.
So I just looked it up real quick.
Oh, sure.
Jango Fett was a renowned Mandalorian assassin, mercenary, and the father to Boba Fett, a genetic clone of him who he raised as a son.
Right. Okay, so he was.
Yeah, Jango Fett was the Mandalorian, or he was adopted by the Mandalorian warriors.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of like that thing in the show The Mandalorian. He's a foundling.
Yeah.
Mandalorian
Yeah.
found him after he lost his parents. They took him in and trained him in the way.
Okay. Huh. Okay, so then he is. It's just different than the
he's
Mandalorian.
the Mandalorian bounty.
It's just different than the Mandalorian creed that we see in the TV show or the series. Yeah. Okay, then. Okay, that clarifies that, actually. So, okay, great.
And though we don't get to see a lot of his like fighting in the movie,
mm-hmm.
and as I just read, Jango Fett is a very skilled and trained fighter.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of upset that we didn't get to see that in the movie that much.
Yeah, and hearing that now, I'm definitely.
He held his own fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
But then the only other time we see him fight is on Geonosis.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, that didn't last as long as I thought it would. I just, but I'm glad that I got that clarified because that makes sense now. But anyway. You know, so going back to Padme and Anakin's adventures, I wrote, you know, they go on a picnic. They roll around in a meadow. They talk a deep conversation next to a fire, and yet she does not want any of Anakin's advances. I'm sorry to say that, like, it's just like, okay, if she doesn't want that, she's certainly putting herself in a lot of situations that encourage it. You know, they have a walk by the lake, and it turns out, as we end up finding out, she does want it. She's just denying it. But it's just like,
I think it's one of those, like, they're both in two different positions to where them being together would not work.
Right, and they point that out.
And most of the time, she keeps that in her head, and she knows that. But in those scenes that we're seeing, she just kind of loses it in her head, and she just kind of lets go.
Right.
I think that's kind of what's going through her head, and why I see those scenes where they're like goofing around, like you said, and like having a picnic, walking on the beach.
Yeah, but no, I'm coming at it from the point though, and I didn't clarify this very well. Obviously, she wants it. You know, she wants to be close to him. She wants this relationship because she likes him. You know, and she's denying it and outwardly denying it, but she's kind of pushing the boundaries a bit because she deeply does want that.
And I would just like to point out that Padme at this time, I'm 95% sure, is roughly 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, Anakin is 20. Anakin going after that cougar, I'll tell you what.
That cougar? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not that, like, I guess at that age, you know, it's different. But, like, they were kind of hitting it off when
cougar,
No, not cougar, but, I don't know. Either way, yeah. So, I guess my standpoint, though, is it's just like, imagine being Anakin. It's just like you're constantly in these situations and you're in love with her, you know? And it's like she keeps like kind of, you know...
You got Natalie Portman just like...
Oh, and it's, I mean...
Coming on to you and then coming on to you and backing away. And
yeah, but like she's just putting it... It's like...
you crazy to the point where you want to commit suicide and... Oh, my goodness. Anyways,
well, maybe
Ewan McGregor, what a hunk.
If I was in a situation with Ewan McGregor... Oh, okay. My ideal fantasy is going through those scenes. I would just like to let the audience know that every single episode that Obi-Wan is in, we're going to fantasize over Ewan McGregor. Yeah, we entirely are, because, dude, all of...
I hope one day Ewan McGregor hears this.
Yeah.
And is totally weirded out.
That would be awesome. Also... Just a disclaimer. Tess, if you listen to this, please, just go away for a little bit. Ewan McGregor, all those scenes that Anakin and Padme are going through, in my mind, my ideal fantasy is me in those scenes with Ewan McGregor. I would tumble through the prairie. I'm done with that. I'm not pursuing that anymore. It was a joke.
Sorry, I'll continue. I'd tumble through the prairie, walk on the beach. I'd caress his shoulders with my hand, give him a nice smooch.
Oh, that was kind of a interesting scene. That was kind of creepy.
Oh,
Again with the
because it can't happen.
no. But hey, we get to see him back
yeah.
as Kenobi in a little bit, so happy.
With Anakin and Padme.
What?
Again, it's one of those, like, she loses herself, like, she just kind of gives in, and,
Right.
like, in the middle of it, she realizes, oh, crap, this isn't right, no, we're in two different, we can't be doing this, back off.
Yeah. It's just this internal struggle, this battle within her of her emotions and logic and so on, yeah. I did point out, and I really like how Jango Fett sounds like Jason Statham, because I love Jason Statham's voice. But yeah, now we get to the point where Anakin is haunted by dreams of his mother. I think this is where, finally, you know, is kind of...
Well, before that, there's that whole creep session scene with Anakin where they're sitting there, it's like dark, and they've got the fire going.
Yeah, actually, I have a couple notes before that too, but you go ahead with yours. Yeah, the firelit conversation.
Doing the whole, when I'm around you, I can't breathe, and I have all these feelings for you, and I'm like, dude, that is not how you get a woman.
Go back to junior high, bud. Like,
I know I've been single for a while, but even I know that is not the approach to get a woman. Like, Jesus. Dude, back off.
Yeah. I like their romantic dinner, though, how you know how rich she is by how elegantly she's just eating a pear with a fork and knife. It's a pear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. But
Anakin did the whole force thing and pulled it over.
yeah, and if you analyze that scene a little bit...
My master would be furious if he saw me doing this. Like, and you probably shouldn't be doing it, Anakin. Use your head. Come on, use your head. Wrong head. Use your head.
Oh, dang it. Dang it, Evan. All right. Well, anyway. Somewhere. Somewhere in here. Oh, no, it's just Obi-Wan was under the impression Sifo-Dyas died. That's where we kind of like heard that part. Anakin's still haunted. Yeah, we had talked a little bit about this before actually recording, but I had said that I kind of was curious about any sea life on Kamino. But you had said... Go ahead.
What are we looking at for time?
We are roughly at an hour, so I was just going to say this, and this was going to be the last topic for this episode. Because actually there was a little bit of outtake there that'll cut it by a minute or so. But actually, you know what? Nice little cliffhanger. See what we have to say on Kamino next time on Star Wars In Depth. Thank you for joining us. Evan, do you have any closing comments?
No, we'll see you next episode to cover the second half of Attack of the Clones.
Sounds great. Yeah, and really quick, when I gave the little introduction, did I say anything about our Discord server?
No.
I did not. Great. That's what I meant to lead with, but whatever. We have created a Discord server. There are various channels on that. There's you can post memes, you can get updates, you can give feedback. I find it to be just this overall more organized way of interacting with you guys. So if you are listening and you would love to join and make more of a direct place to be in the community that is what we're trying to make the listeners of the channel, I'll post a link in the description for that, but I'd love for you guys to go ahead and join on over there. And forgot to in the intro, but you want to say goodbye, Evan?
Peace.
Deuces.